Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 213 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and today we have a great townhome that is in Victory Park you do not want to miss.
And in our second segment today, Jeremy Radcliffe is here, and we're going to start talking about mortgage buydowns. Very popular in the market right now.
It is, and we reported last week how important that has become as interest rates have become about 6%. So lots of great information. But first off, what did you do last week?
I honestly can't tell you what I did on Saturday. We went to Happy Hour Friday. That's not why I can't tell you what we did, but I really just kind of putzed around my house.
It's an interesting weekend, that is for sure. The weather was rainy but clear, and then cold but warm. It was all over the place. Again, welcome to Texas and getting close to the springtime for sure.
Summer's almost here.
And you know what? It is interesting because I'm starting to see those the daffodils starting to come out of the ground. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the next, tulip season is around. So,
how was ceramics this weekend?
We'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. It's not my strong week. That is just the way I would say. We'll see. But it's good. It's a good time. Real good time. Real good time. So anyway, let's talk about what is happening in Dallas market right now. What's going on, Jeff?
So coming soon listings. This is in Dallas County week over week. Dallas County is, the coming soon listings are up 27% to 60. The new active listings are also up 37% to 360 new listings last week. And the number of houses that went into the option period is up 17% to 351.
Great. And once we take and move out of the option period and into the pending, we have also seen that uptick. There was 151 last 7 days, which is up 23% over last week. And then also we've seen the solds generate 218, which is up 15%. Again, we're comparing last week, and last week it was one of those weeks where we had the crazy ice storm. And so things were really simmered down. And this week it's back to normal. It looks like spring is trying to thaw itself out. Interest rates are coming in at 6.39%, and that is for a 30-year conforming. For more information about rates, go to jeremyradcliffe.com. You'll be able to get all the information you need, whether it's FHA, jumbo, or a 15-year. He's got that for you.
Sure does.
Excellent. So let's take a look at the very first house that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be 2919 Magnolia Hill Court. This is an amazing one, and we've watched this for years because these happened and were pioneers in this area.
These were built by Bennett Miller, who was a very frustrated architect type guy. He lived in New York. His family, he moved down here to work for what was then the Miller Adams Hat family. You know, the Adams Hat built in Deep Ellum. He moved here, then wanted to get out of the family business, and so he started this development started developing. This is not his only one, but really picked such a great location.
He did. He picked a great location at the entry-level prices. You'd be shocked what it was 15, 20 years ago. Today, it is one of the gems that is down here at Victory Park, right adjacent to the American Airlines Center. One of the things that we love about this property is that if you work downtown, of course, that's in the bag for you. But heading north and east or west are also just as easy.
They really are. You can walk just to the other side of American Airlines Center and get on the train.
Yep. One of the things that is going to be in the backyard, and we'll show you this, is the Katy Trail. And that is a real great gem here in the Uptown area. It adds tons of versatility. We saw prices as it has continued to become one of the strongholds in Uptown, continue to drive prices further and further up. So one of the things that we were really excited about sharing with you is that in this area, there is a Hunt Realty North End development that is coming up. And this is a really good slide deck that shows not only the properties that they have done and what inspires them for what's coming up, but also what it's actually going to look like.
And this is a really great tract of land. It is. They just announced this in the last 3 months or so, and it is super convenient. It is a wonderful size to do what they're going to do. This is the old apartment complex that's called Pearl North, I think.
It's actually right there at Field and River Street.
Okay.
And we used to always drive by this and wonder who is going to get that tract of land because it had that kind of C-grade apartment complex on a ton of land.
And even that apartment complex was a pioneer when it was built down there.
Yes,
it was well before any of the house or Victory Park or any of that. That was probably built in the 80s.
And as we'll see, they're dedicating about 1.5 acres to this concept. It looks like there's going to be roughly, I think, 478 square feet here that is going to anchor both uptown, downtown, and Victory Park.
And it's here's a artist rendering of all the buildings that they're talking about putting up there. They've got four different types that they're doing. It's called the Forest, the Village, the Plaza, and the Glade.
Yes.
And it's going to be really an exciting place.
I think they're really fine-tuning this in order for this to be such an anchor for those four buildings. I believe as we scroll through a couple more, here you can see that those are the four different blocks that they're going to call them. And I think in total, the next slide is going to show you that there's going to be almost 4 million square feet of retail space. And this is a really exciting front yard that is going to be in the downtown Dallas area. And as you were saying, the four different areas that are created inside of the park are the Forest, the Village, the Plaza, and the Glade, all serving their own really unique and purposeful use. Here you can see that they've done a really great extensive job with the renderings. And I believe this right here is the Glade. It's the open space. This is the Forest, as you can tell. And this is an area where you're going to be able to have both dining and also just hanging out, I guess is the best word for it.
Yeah, and this is what it would look like if you were standing at, I think we estimated you'd be at Museum Tower looking at it.
Really great space. So we're really excited about this.
To the
Absolutely.
skyline.
And so as we talk about a lot of things, if you're not from Dallas, we want to tell you how easy it is to get around. And it's so important because here is Victory Station.
And Victory Station services the green line, the orange line, and the red line, which will put you in one of 6 very far areas away from downtown.
So this one right here is a really great map that shows you the beginning and the end of the green line. And the green line is going to actually take you from the Buckner Boulevard on the east side of Dallas and travel up north all the way to northern Carrollton at Frankfort. Several stops on the way, one of them being Victory Park.
Mm-hmm. And the orange line, the north entrance, this one will take you all the way from Plano down through the Union Station and then back up, and we'll get you to the north end of the DFW airport.
And this is really great. Also, the TRE, and not a lot of people, this one is a different. Those are darts, and those are local. And this is, I believe, a state or national, correct? And TRE is actually a different caliber of trail or rail lines, and this connects downtown Fort Worth and also Dallas. It's really great. I've taken it to the art fair there in Fort Worth. One of the things to keep in mind is that whatever you buy, you've got to bring back on the train. So it's a little bit unique. I've also known that there's also Wi-Fi on this, so it's a really easy way to travel.
And we used to put Mom on the train at Victory Park, send her to Fort Worth. She could catch the Amtrak and go to Ardmore, Oklahoma.
That is funny. I almost feel like you're about to introduce a country and western song. We put Mama on a train. So, all right. Without further ado, let's jump in here and look at 2919 Magnolia Hill Court. This is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. It is just over 2,500 square feet and priced at $2.2 million.
And there are 2 sets of buildings, well, more than 2 sets, but this one is on the section of the buildings that really butt up to Katy Trail. Yeah. So you got some really great views from the back. This is the drive up on the front, water feature to the left there. These owners have done a really great job kind of finalizing the design on this.
Yeah, and one of the great things about this is you're going to see a use of materials, hard, soft, warm, and cool throughout that kind of create this really wonderful mixed-use space. This is the actual downstairs bedroom, and they've gone ahead and renovated to where it has an open concept so that it goes out to an outdoor deck, lots of glass. It is a very, as open as it feels, it is a very cocoon-like bedroom as well.
Yeah, there are blinds that come down on every one of those windows, so you can have privacy there if you need. This is the downstairs bathroom, and really decent size, not super elaborate, big walk-in shower stall, and I think kind of fits the simplicity of the first floor.
And what we're going to do is we're going to take a step outside now. We want to look back in, kind of give you a whole different look at what this feels like. This is a small little seating area that's off this. And one of the great things is the way that this actually dovetails to a deck that is below, and that becomes just above the Katy Trail. And as you can see here, they've done a really great job. The use of materials, I believe that's Ipe wood that is amazingly welded pieces throughout and poured concrete that just create this really wonderful, rich area.
Yeah, and they've got the fire pit out, or the fire feature out there, which I think is really cool.
Yep, and they did bench, which is really nice there on the side. A small detail, but they also went ahead and added lighting under that. The actual framework for the cement was done quite well, leaving small reliefs in a gridded pattern. You'll also see an indirect heating element above the TV. And as we turn around back this way, a really unique architectural fencing that is actually just probably 16 feet above the Katy Trail. So it's right there below you. It is amazing.
You got the perfect view without anybody worrying about anybody crawling up there.
I know. And this is one that we get to see it at two different times, once in the evenings and once during the day. And they're both spectacular times to see it. And it just works so well. This is an actual great photo that's probably taken closer to fall. And coming upstairs, you come into this really wonderful upstairs open concept.
You really do. This is the Dove Smith kitchen, I believe. And Sub-Zero built in, has a 50-bottle wine cooler in it. The range and oven are both perfectly placed. And this is, as you turn around and look back across the living room, this is what you see.
Yeah, and when we talked about the materials, we have the I-beams, we have the brick. These are all really great urban feels that create a unique and original space. One of the things we want to point out, though, is that view is of downtown, and it's really amazing. So this location, the way that it's set on the complex, allows, again, versatility to Katy Trail, but also wonderful views, both from the living room and, as you see, from the master as well.
And these owners have done some really interesting things with the walls in creating some visual blocks, and the TV wall that you can see on the upper left hand there is actually a wall that is mounted off of the wall by about 6 inches.
I mean, it's a really smart concept kitchen. So rather than really bring an additional layer to it, they kind of let this sink behind because it is an open concept room. This actually works as a really great island, but also you have this wonderful dining room table here. And it is a dining room with a view. You can see here, this is yet another step out that is adjacent. So if you're grilling or whatnot, again, we have really an interesting versatility even when we're living in downtown Dallas, because you don't get that, and I will keep wanting to point that over and over again. There is a really strong versatility in this house.
Yeah, and there's a lot of automation with their Control 4 system, which Control 4 systems really allow you to operate almost any TV, any part of the sound system independently or completely together.
And what an amazing show-stopping master bedroom. So this is on the 3rd floor, and this is a really great open floor plan, but they've done a lot of elements both with the headboard and with the shelving unit there behind that holds the TV that kind of create this soft and more intimate space. And it's really amazing given how big this room is. There's an entire seating area, Peloton, and office right here in this master bedroom.
And that, I don't know if we're going to get to see it or not, but that end of that is also closed off from the stairwell as well, and it helps create that privacy up there. And like you said, kind of a soft arrival.
Now, this is a spa bathroom, and I can say that because it has a steam shower and it also has heated floors. And for me, that's check 1, check 2, we're done. I don't need anything else. It is such a great concept. Again, they've created a feel of industrial and spa at the same time, so it is cohesive from the minute you walk in the front door until you step out of the shower. Everything works together and is well thought out.
And the closet's beautiful. They did such a great job.
I guess.
Plenty of room for everybody in there.
It is, and I was like, this is just the simplest little details. I love a valet in the closet that allows you to kind of set the tone for getting ready in the morning. This has everything.
So 2919 Magnolia Hill Court is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage built in 1996. It's about 2,500 square feet, priced at $2.2 million, which is $868 a square foot.
Yep, and we want to say thank you so much to Debbie Sherrington for allowing us to feature your home. It is amazing. Now, what we like to do is in the comments, we're going to leave a link. So click on that link, go through the photos that we didn't see, that we didn't have time to share with you. Share it with your friends, your coworkers. If it's something that you would like to see, let us know, and we'd be happy to make that happen.
And with that, we'll be right back. Did you know there are a lot of ways you can keep up with us? For starters, every Wednesday at noon, we host Sold with Updike Pugh, live from our Facebook and YouTube channels. Our show is dedicated to featuring some of the best homes in the Dallas market and about sharing timely information about market trends. But don't worry if you miss the show, because you can always listen to them on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Spotify.
Still want more? Follow us on Instagram, where you get a first-hand look at what it's like to be a realtor. It's not always previewing homes for clients or getting them ready to go live in MLS. Lastly, visit our website and you'll be able to create a custom home search tailored specifically to your wants and needs that's timely and accurate. Whether it's square foot, location, or the neighborhood, we have you covered.
If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, we can help with that too. Just visit homeprice.fyi, enter a few pieces of information like your home address, and we'll email you a price. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.
And remember, we want to be realtors for life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second segment, episode 213 of Sold with Updike Pugh. I have Jeremy Radcliffe with us today with SWBC Mortgage. Welcome.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me on again. It's great to be with you guys.
So I asked Jeremy to come on because we wanted to talk about one of the things that's going on in the mortgage industry right now that's called a 2-1 buy down, and kind of explain what that does and how it works.
Yeah, well, so with interest rates having ticked up over the last 9 months, we've seen some buyers who might just say, you know what, I don't know what to do. It's kind of changed the way my payments look. I'm not quite as comfortable with that higher payment. And it all starts with and I'm working in the opinion that I think interest rates are going to come down in the next 12 to 24 months. There's a product that's been around for a while. It's not new, but what it's called a 2-1 temporary buy down. And basically the way it works is it allows for reduced payments in those first 2 years. So let's say if you're working at a higher rate, and I think we might have a slide that talks about this a little bit, but if that rate's higher, okay, thanks. If you're showing 6875 as the permanent rate, that monthly payment's $32.85. What happens in that first year, that payment's going to drop by 2%. So you get a discounted subsidy amount of $639 a month for that first 12 months. And this is on a $500,000 loan amount. In that second year, then that amount goes down to $327 a month because the rate has adjusted down by that 1% to 5.875 in our illustration. The benefit to clients and to buyers right now is it's making that jump into home ownership a little bit more palpable when they consider, hey, I feel like my income is continuing to grow year over year. I'm going to continue to make more money, but right now I would love to see a $7,000 swing in payment in my first year, another $3,600 in my second year.
Absolutely,
that makes a big difference. And then knowing the thing I like about this too, Jeff, is that payment, should interest rates stay where we are, it's never going to go beyond that undiscounted rate. So it's not considered an ARM or adjustable rate mortgage where it could potentially change down the line.
So months 25 through 360, which is basically the third through 30th year.
Correct.
Fixed rate 6.875.
Correct, and that was the numbers I was using from my illustration. But you could see that first year it's reduced by 2%. Second year it's reduced by 1%, and then it never changes over that undiscounted rate. So. And
you really kind of jumped ahead of our first question, which was what happens at the end of 2 years, and that really is it doesn't change.
Right. So at the end of that 2 years is the payments actually do never adjust again. So you're going to see that undiscounted rate kick into effect in month 25 through the remainder of the term. And then obviously we're consistently and regularly looking for opportunities for clients to save money should interest rates come down in the future.
And you said that this has to be paid for by the seller.
Correct. So one of the interesting things about this is it's considered a temporary buy down, and it's a subsidy to the buyer, and compliance purposes don't allow it to be paid for by the buyer. It actually has to be paid for through the seller, and you could do that, and your real estate agent, Jeff and Wesley, could explain that, but you can make an offer asking for the seller to cover that temporary buy down at the time of contract.
And what happens if, let's say, a year from now, 18 months from now, the interest rate drops? The market rate that you're offering
Correct.
At that point is down.
So these are plain vanilla 30-year conventional fixed mortgages. What that means for you is that there's no prepayment penalties. So, and that's one of the things that I was saying is that we're always looking for opportunities for should rates come down. The cool thing about this too is that temporary buy down amount, it's different than if you maybe paid money on a discount point to buy that rate down. It's different. This money that you use does not get lost should you refinance within 24 months. So any balance remaining on that subsidy amount or that temporary buy down amount could be used to, just reduces what your balance is on that refinance or used towards closing costs.
So when in your example, the first year they saved like $7,600.
Correct. Yep.
And then so if they refinanced it month 13,
correct, they've got
$3,600.
$3,600. Yep.
Okay, that's great.
Yep. So any balance on that, and that's a high compliance factor, and we're obligated as loan servicers to make sure that money gets reimbursed.
So when borrowers apply on that, what rate do you qualify them against?
Good question. So we are qualifying on that undiscounted rate. So if you're in our illustration here, we were using that higher rate, the 6.875. That rate is what's actually used for the purpose of qualification, and underwriting. Everybody's using that, and that's the standard in most cases. Where if you're even on an adjustable rate mortgage, are always going to go with that higher rate.
And that really keeps us very different than what we dealt with in 2007.
Correct. Where we want to make sure we're
qualifying on
protecting
2.2%, but
Correct.
the ultimate rate could be 11.
Yeah, we don't want any gotchas anymore in the mortgage space.
They're no more fun now.
No, it's not. And the thing I like about this, and I was mentioning to you earlier before we jumped on, this is pretty much exclusively what we've been, as I've illustrated this to clients. And I think a lot of my clients have a general sense too that they do think rates are going to come down in the next 12 to 24 months. And when I show them this, they're just like, man, this looks great. And exclusively, that's pretty much what we've been locking.
I think one of the things that we talked about last week, Weston and I were talking about, was that I think the stat was like 72% of the loan applications that people had done nationwide were on some kind of permanent buy down or temporary buy down.
Yeah. And it's on everything that I'm seeing. I get all the newsletters from different mortgage gurus, and it's quite the very popular product right now. And I think it's popular because it's helping people, and I'm of the opinion, I think you would agree with me, taking ownership of real estate is such a key foundation to wealth and to building wealth. And if you could say, hey, I'm going to subsidize my monthly payment for the first couple of years so that I get the opportunity to own that appreciation of those properties I'm owning, it just it seems to make sense to me financially.
Yeah, it really does. There's most people get their first belt of wealth in their first home. And they're building it while they're living there. They don't really see it until they actually sell the property.
Right.
But that is why there are companies that are set up that are trying to buy that entire belt of property out, because they realize that is a way consumers make money.
Right. Yeah. And I just feel like, and every time I talk to first-time home buyers or people who are currently renting, and I always just want to stress the fact, like, consider the opportunity cost of not buying right now. Yes, rates are a little bit higher, and you've heard that there's been some kitschy little phrases going around, like, you're not forever locked in on interest rates. There are opportunities where rates may come down in the future, and so we actively look for opportunities.
Marry the rate.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it.
No, it's really getting
Everybody's been saying it. Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, thank you for coming in
again.
I love having you here because you've always got such great detailed
thanks.
on the dollar information. Our clients, that we send every client to you that we can, and every one of them comes back and tells us how positive it is working with you and Carly.
Well, if I can, I want to just brag on you guys again. I mention this often about y'all. You guys are so good about being able to get clients in under contract when they find a property they're excited about. And that's one of the things I really respect and appreciate about y'all. Y'all are great on the negotiation side. So,
well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully you found some of this helpful. Look in the comments below. You'll be able to get a link for Jeremy's website. If you've got any questions, certainly reach out to him directly. We'll have his email address in there also. And if there are any other topics that you'd like us to talk about, please just let us know. We'll be happy to make that happen. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life. When you're ready to talk real estate, you can reach us online, by phone, or by text at 214-377-2223.